Hello, my name is Jesse Collins, and I'm a fourth-year graduate student in the Immunobiology department. I'm going to be talking about the SPRING group. SPRING is Yale startup using a machine learning algorithm to improve outcomes in treating depression. The group would give a questionnaire to patients that would then recommend an optimal antidepressant for a physician to give that patient. Two peer-reviewed papers in 2016 and 2017 have validated their method, and the SPRING group has raised $1.5 million in seed funding. The SPRING group directly addresses a $27 billion problem in healthcare related to physicians not prescribing the optimal antidepressant for patients. One of the ways I can support the SPRING group is through my clinical background. I have a certificate from the Medical Scholars Research Program at Yale that included a clinical mentoring component, so I have familiarity with the clinical setting that applies to this group. I additionally have experience in programming and in biology from undergraduate classes in addition to my current program in immunobiology, and this experience allows me to really understand the SPRING product and its limitations. In addition to having a shared knowledge base that allows me to relate to the founders, I also bring a unique perspective to the group with unique skills and knowledge. For instance, I've been part of the Yale Graduate Student Consulting Group for about 2 years, involved in pro bono projects there, and I also have knowledge as a personal investor, looking over financial statements and other large business items that could be relevant to the group in its current stage. Considering how I would advise the group specifically, I think the SPRING group could think about how to deal with false positives. For instance, if their algorithm diagnoses someone with depression, however they don't actually have depression, a doctor seeing that report could be biased towards believing the patient has depression. I think the SPRING group should consider withholding the report until post-diagnosis by a physician so that the initial diagnosis can be more reliable, since that is not what they are aiming to improve. What they want to do is actually just give that physician an optimal suggestion for drug prescription. Additionally, I think the SPRING group should consider additional endpoints besides just the drug response rate. For instance, if drug A has a very similar response rate to drug B, but one of them has much higher side effects, perhaps that should be weighted differently in their algorithm. And it might be interesting to dig into their algorithm specifics and consider changing it. Additionally, I think the SPRING group should consider partnering with certain competitors. For instance, GeneSight is a competitor using non-overlapping methods. They would sequence patient's DNA and provide suggestions for drugs based on genes. This is a completely non-redundant method to the SPRING's approach, and using those two methods together could yield synergies and further improve patient outcomes. Thank you for listening to this presentation, and have a nice day.